Fair warning, I've got a bit of a Neil rant incoming. I've been thinking about this recent corner fixation with Christian nationalism, politics, everything and the like. It seems to me that there's been a slow but steady switch in the corner the last few years from a focus on each of us individuals being agents that are called, who are called to the highest, to instead being focused on the arena, cast to and fro by the tides of church trends or politics. And many have dropped out of this space, OGs as they are known, and I suspect one of the main reasons why is the slow but steady change in the focus of the TLC. But the truth is, thanks be to God, I am still personally tremendously focused on the Petersonian call to adventure.
And if you don't have a noble aim, then you have nothing but shallow, trivial pleasures, and they don't sustain you. And that's not good because life is so difficult, it's so much suffering, it's so complex. It ends and everyone dies and it's painful. It's like without a noble aim, how can you withstand any of that? You can't. You become desperate, and once you become desperate, things go from bad to worse very rapidly when you become desperate. And so there's the idea of the noble aim. And it's not something, it's something that's necessary. It's the bread that people cannot live without, right? That's not physical bread. It's the noble aim.
And it's the same reason that I'm a Christian. I have to believe. If I don't believe, it puts me aimed somewhere else, oriented somewhere else, impacting people in ways that are less than the highest. On my recent conversation with Risto, Smith History left a comment that really sparked me to think about a few things in relation to libertarianism, classical liberalism, and I was thinking about this agent-arena relationship in regard to libertarianism, because the way I would describe myself is I am an agentic libertarian. Arenic libertarianism would be something along the lines of there's a core set of principles that we all believe as libertarians, no matter what, and we need to adhere to these principles no matter what, no matter how bad things get, within the confines of our body, within the confines of the nation. But agentic libertarianism would be something like every individual human being is created in the image and likeness of God, and thus they must be permitted to follow the Holy Spirit wherever God is calling him or her. But there is a limit, of course, and that limit is where you begin to tread on the agentic liberty of another human being, and that then lends itself to the absolute necessity of discussion and debate. I am an agentic libertarian. I believe that hierarchies matter, and I believe that the United States got it fundamentally right, absolutely right, in setting the First Amendment as the First Amendment and not the 10th. And the way I would put this in Christian terms is that deep down, I think the whole point of life, the entire point of our life, is to see the absolute necessity of God's grace and then choose that grace, take that hand, aim upward voluntarily. And that's key, the voluntary choice to aim upward. And in all this talk of Christian nationalism, we seem absolutely convinced that if we could just set up the right Christian governance structure, if only we could outlaw the things that, of course, everyone agrees are bad or sinful, then clearly the entire world, the entire society would be much better, and it would be much easier to get everyone to heaven. And we start to fall into this utilitarian trap where we say, if the goal is to get everyone into heaven, then we just need them to follow the rules and it'll be good. And the more that we act like the only motivating force is the frame, the law, the sea that we swim in, the more we give up our agency through our fault. And it's our fault whenever we give up our agency, our most grievous fault. And we give that up to the powers and principalities that are oh so eager to take it.
If you confuse the notion of sovereignty with the current sovereign, then your culture immediately degenerated into a totalitarian state and turned to stone. And that was deadly. Then you were slaves. And then the thing was going to collapse as well. Like, no matter how big and grandiose, as soon as the ruler became the concrete incarnation of the ideal, there was no distinction between the man and the divine notion of the ideal, then the society was doomed. And I think that that's I think that's true. It's as simple as that. And I think we saw more than enough evidence of that in the 20th century, and we're certainly seeing the same thing repeating itself now.
So call me a romantic, but I will always believe in the necessity of voluntary choice. I will always believe that the choices that we make matter, and that the choices that we make are indeed what life is all about. I'm going to read here from Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, starting on page 65. We who lived in concentration camps can remember the men who walked through the huts, comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They may have been few in number, but they offer sufficient proof that everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. It's the choice of whether or not we look up and we choose a higher ideal. So, this is me rebuking our little corner of the internet. We were not inspired or brought forth into existence to craft the perfect tribe, the perfect church, the perfect frame. That's not our calling. We were brought forth from the Petersonian call to personal responsibility and adventure. It's a call personally to me. It's a call personally to you. And there's a huge difference there, though many people don't see it. And the difference is something like, I am motivated primarily from resentment and anger and revenge, or I am motivated primarily from humility, gratitude, service. It's ironic, but in the preparation of this video, I found a comment I left 8 years ago under Peterson's second Genesis Biblical Series video. And even though it was 8 years ago, this comment encapsulates the same spirit that I'm trying to convey right now. And on a more personal note, you're going to see a few of us, myself included, aspire to do that in the next few months, by the grace of God. So this is me encouraging you to do the same. What can you do beyond the political, beyond the merely reactive, to create the good? And may God bless you and keep you.